Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson on Be My Mistake by the 1975 and as arranged by Mike Dawes. Let's roll the top tier patrons first. As always, only the first part will be released on YouTube. For full access, please head over to my brand new website for the best experience or to my Patreon page. The difference between the two is explained in a video on each landing page. You can find all the links down below as well as the link to music notes for the tab and notation file. So it might sound like a joke, but I decided to do this arrangement by Mike Dawes because I was looking for something a little easier. Yes, you heard it right. I went looking for something a little easier and I ended up with a tune by Mike Dawes. But please don't shoot down the idea just yet. I heard this tune the first time when Mr. Dawes played it while opening for Tommy Emmanuel, and I was immediately taken by the atmosphere of the song. The tune has an open character and you are even going to have to focus on not speeding up through certain sections. When it comes to the fretting hand, there are only 5 basic chords here: C, G, F, A minor, and one really brief E dominant chord. You do need the thumb over the side of the neck for the F chord, and if that is something that you have always avoided, maybe try it with this song. There isn't that much happening on top of those thumb chords. The last thing I quickly want to add is that Mr. Dawes always plays this song with a very large and heavy reverb, which helps to extend chords and melody lines. I'm doing the tutorial without any reverb at all, but I do see the reverb as a part of the arrangement. The open character of the arrangement really benefits from the blanket of reverb behind it, so feel free to do some experimentation once you have the parts down. Okay, straight to playing, and the guitar is in standard tuning and you don't need anything else. No capo, no thumb pick, no flat pick, nothing. There's one thing I quickly want to address, and that is that Mr. Dawes uses long fingernails on his picking hand when playing the guitar. Now, I'm using short fingernails, I never grow out my nails, so it is perfectly possible to play the tune even without those long fingernails. So this is the most basic, bare knuckle approach you can get to playing a fingerstyle acoustic arrangement. Now let's have a quick look at the intro and see how this works. Straight into the first verse. So as you can see, 3 chords, C, F and G. And there's a little picking trick going on in the picking hand. So you start with just a regular good old C chord, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and you strum the first beat with the side of the thumb. Now throughout the intro and throughout the rest of the song, this is going to be the main difference between how you strum chords that you want sort of as the backing of the tune and the chords that you want to pop out. The chords that are going to be in the backing are going to be strummed with the side of the thumb, as if you're brushing a piece of dust off the guitar really softly. So not digging in with the fingernail or nothing, just the side of the thumb brushing down really softly, not trying to get any volume at all. So that is the first beat. 1, and then you add 3 more strums, up, down, up, and now you might notice the tune. There are 2 things about the timing. The tune isn't in 4/4, but it is in 6/8. So you're going to count along 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is going to be the count. And the second thing is the 16th notes are swung or are in with a triplet feel. So you don't play this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but you're swinging the 16th notes, which means that the downstroke is always 2 parts of the beat and the upstroke is 1 part of the beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's the swing feel. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the swing feel. So if you have the tab notation file, everywhere you see 16th notes in the tablature or in the notation file, those are swung. So you have to play them like this. And we do so immediately from the first bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. So up, down, up with a light swing feel. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to hammer on. We're going to lift up the middle finger, getting an open D string, and we're going to hammer on to the 2nd fret straight away again. But this is a part that should pop out of the tune. And for this, I'm using my fingernail. Now, it's just whatever fingernail I have, it's not grown out, as already mentioned. Mike Dawes uses, he sort of grabs the index finger as if he's holding a pick, and he uses, presumably it's hard to see, the longer edge of the fingernail to really play those strings as if he's using a flat pick. But just using it with short nails and strumming down works just as well. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 strums down with the fingernail, hammering on from the open string to the 2nd fret, then removing the middle finger again, another downstroke, and then putting the middle finger back down, and another downstroke. It's that easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Heading over to an F chord. Thumb over the side of the neck, then all the way down, and Mr. Dawes isn't using a bar, he's using the index finger to mute the top string, so there is no high E string here. So you have 1st fret, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, middle finger 2nd fret, index finger 1st fret. If you struggle with the thumb over the side of the neck, you could go for something like this as well, using the index finger. You do need the possibility to release the 2nd fret on the G string, because you're going to hammer on, as we did before, on the C chord as well, while doing the F chord. So it's not possible to play a full bar, because you're always going to struggle getting that open G string in there. So either you do this, which is a solution, but if possible at all, I would go for the thumb over the side of the neck in this case. So thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So it's the exact same thing as on the C chord, same strumming pattern. 1, 2, up, down, up with the side of the thumb, and then again strumming down with the fingernail while hammering on the G string this time. 4, 5, 6, 1, and back to the C chord. When strumming down, you're aiming mostly to get 2, maximum 3 strings, but that hammer-on in there should be really clear. So don't see the notation in the tablature file or in the notation file as being set in stone. Sometimes you have 3 strings on that downstroke, sometimes you have 2. That isn't really the core of the matter here. It's more of that swing feel and the difference between the brushed chords and the chords that are strummed with the fingernail. Those first 2 bars back to back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Back to the C chord. Mr. Dawes only plays the bass note. When switching back to the C chord, you do the exact same thing. And then back to the F chord, and when he plays the F chord, it is the full chord, not just the bass note. And again, the same thing. And back to the C chord, those first 4 bars all the way through. Back to the C chord, the bar starts with the exact same thing. Those 2 open strings, one more time the C bass note, and then you head for a full G chord, middle finger on the 3rd fret, pinky and ring finger on the top strings, all on the 3rd fret. You need the index finger open, and you need to use the middle finger to mute the A string in there. So the switch from the C chord to the G chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And you try to have those two open strings, that G string and D string, to ring out across the bar line as you move into the G chord. So be careful not to mute them when you lift up the C chord and put down the fingers for the G shape. So that makes the best transition into the next bar. See? Again, on that G chord, a few up strums, and then we're going to hammer on from two open strings, G string and B string, to the second fret on the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just index finger down one time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's two 16th notes that hammer on, not a quick embellishment. You really have to time it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and see, so it really has to land on the exact right timing, and then you fill out the rest of the bar with up and down strums really softly on those top strings. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and back to the F chord. First beat, strumming softly with the thumb. 1, 2, and 3, and the middle chord is with the back of the nail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And on the first beat you land on the F chord, and that is where we are going to pick up the, let's say, the pickup bar into the first verse. That is the full intro. Let me play those last 4 bars one more time. And we'll look at that section in just a second. That was the full intro, so I hope you see I haven't been lying. It's not too difficult for a Mike Dawes song, at least. So let me play through the whole intro just one more time, connecting all the dots, and then we're going to move into the first verse. Here we go. Straight into the first verse. Now, before we head into the first verse, let me slap on the magnet cam and give you a close-up of the picking hand. It's only for those of you who are struggling with that alternating technique between the side of the thumb and the fingernail. This is going to give you a much clearer view at how this works. I'm going to include the tablatures down below on screen and change them slightly. All of the chords and chord tones that are played with the side of the thumb are going to be notated in small numbers, and everything you have to pick with the fingernail is going to be in larger numbers. This is hopefully going to give you a bit more of an advantage figuring out the difference between what you have to play with one technique and the other. So here we go one more time with a magnet. So I really hope that helped, and that concludes part 1 of the tutorial. I'll see you again in part 2 for the first verse. Take care.